and good morning to you. In the studio with us this morning, Denise Packer. And Denise is from right here in Indiana, from the Clymer area?
Yes.
From the Clymer area. Very good to have you with us this morning.
Thank you.
And you're here to talk about Parkinson's disease. You have Parkinson's disease.
Yes, Todd. I was diagnosed 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's a strange thing. You don't feel sick. You just kind of have some strange symptoms. I lost my sense of smell. I had difficulty writing. I knew that something just wasn't right. Mm-hmm. And I went to my family physician, and then I was referred to a neurologist who diagnosed me with Parkinson's.
Uh-huh. And symptoms of Parkinson's can vary from person to person, can't they?
Yes, absolutely. And like I said, many people have Parkinson's. They're just not aware of it.
Mm-hmm. But it is so devastating in the life of somebody that you're looking for help, you're looking for support, whatever resources are out there. And you're telling me that there are some pretty good resources here in Indiana County.
Yes, the diagnosis is devastating, but it's not a death sentence. You kind of look on the internet and you have a tendency to research it and you can get discouraged. But I found out that there is a support group locally, a Parkinson's support group. It meets the last Thursday of every month over at the conference center at Indiana Total Therapy, 2 p.m. And it's the best thing that you can do when you're diagnosed.
Is it a big group?
No, it varies from 10 to sometimes 20 people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And again, you meet when?
We meet the last Thursday of each month, 2 p.m. at the conference room at the Indiana Total Therapy. It's the gymnasium next to Tractor Supply.
Okay. That being the case, folks that want to join that maybe aren't aware of this as a wonderful resource for them, what do they need to do? Can they just come?
Yes, absolutely. They can come. I can give them my phone number if they feel more comfortable calling me first. It's just a great group of people. People that understand your symptoms, and it's a great place to learn what resources are available to you in Indiana County. Exercise is of utmost importance. There is no cure. You can control the symptoms with medication, but exercise is of utmost importance if you want to keep your mobility, keep your independence. Mm-hmm. So there's great exercise therapy groups in the county.
But geared specifically toward Parkinson's?
Absolutely.
Uh-huh.
There is a program at the Indiana Total Therapy. It's a 2-day-a-week program, but they basically evaluate you, where you're at with the disease, what your needs are. But it's a great exercise program over at the Indiana Total Therapy. Mm-hmm. There are also some exercise programs at, I believe it's St. Andrews or Scenery Hill. Mm-hmm. The Western Pennsylvania Parkinsons Association will offer you all the information that you need to know, and it's authentic and good information. If you get on the website, Western Pennsylvania Parkinsons Association, they will also let you know what's available in Indiana County as far as exercise groups, support groups. It's just a good resource.
Denise Packer is with us this morning. We're talking about Parkinson's disease in your case, Parkinson's syndrome in the case of others. 4 years ago, you get that diagnosis. Mm-hmm. Take me back to that moment and what you felt.
Well, I'm an RN. I've been an RN for 20 years, and then I left nursing to run Tate Supermarket. So, I knew in the back of my mind that, that there was a possibility that I had Parkinson's. But, you get the diagnosis, and you're kind of in disbelief. Like, wow, how did this happen? Parkinson's disease is strange because you don't feel sick. Uh-huh. I don't think I look sick either.
No, you look wonderful.
Thank you. You don't feel sick, you don't look sick, but your brain's telling your hand to move, and it just doesn't. Mm-hmm. Your writing becomes illegible. You just kind of can't read your writing. It's just some strange things. So for a while, you kind of just deny the whole thing, like this is just going to go away, but you come to grips with it. I never really did want to attend a support group because I was really afraid what I was going to see. Mm-hmm. But attending the support group was the best thing that I did.
Mm-hmm. You said a couple of moments ago that one of the first things that went through your mind was, how did I get it? Tell me about that. Is it hereditary? Are there risk factors, or is it just something that happens?
Well, there's so many different things. It is hereditary. My mother had Parkinson's. If you watch the TV, you'll see that there may be some chemical, like Roundup, things like chemical exposure that can produce Parkinson's down the road. I don't think they really have figured it out. Michael J. Fox is such an advocate. He developed Parkinson's at such a young age.
Yeah.
There's a Michael J. Fox Foundation, and he's done quite a bit to kind of explore this and to try to find a cause and a cure for Parkinson's. It's just it's a strange thing because, like I said, Todd, you really don't feel sick. There are thousands of people that are undiagnosed. They're out there, and until you really get this eye-opening experience, like there's really something wrong, you could live for several years with it without even knowing that you have it.
And it's progressive in nature, so obviously the earlier you can get it diagnosed and begin treatment and therapies, the better for you.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
what would you recommend people look for as possible indicators that they need to be checked out?
I started out with a tremor on my thumb. It was just like a involuntary movement of my thumb. And that was probably for a year. What really was the eye-opener was I always had a good, keen sense of smell. I just couldn't smell anymore. And your feet become heavy. Your arms become rigid, your muscles become rigid. Some people say you get like a mask look on your face. I don't know if I have that. And then, as it progresses, there's definitely symptoms that are much more pronounced. Shuffling of your feet, and definitely the tremors.
Yeah.
And it's usually tremors on one side that it starts out with, either your right or your left side.
The exercises you spoke of, obviously you're involved in exercising.
I am very much involved in exercises. I exercise at Indiana Total Therapy twice a week. I do Zumba, I do yoga, and I do kickboxing. And
there will be a lot of people that say, well, that's well beyond me. I can't do those sorts of things. But that's okay, because I would assume that the programs are designed specifically for you to get from this step to your next step and make it progress instead of regress.
Absolutely. I think whatever program you're in, and like I said, there are several in the county, there's an evaluation that takes place first to see, at what level you can start at, and then there's a program designed for you at whatever level that you're at.
All right. And obviously, as we said, getting in touch with your family physician in your case was the first step in that process.
Yes.
And that's what people should do. Go to your primary care physician. You probably are going to be having a physical at some point anyway. Excuse me for just a moment. Had to cough a little bit. But you're going to be having your physical anyway. And maybe this is the time that you.
That's exactly
really
what it was. I was having a physical. I mentioned that I said, "Oh, by the way, my thumb is twitching," and Dr. Boron stopped and looked at me and said, "Tell me more about it."
Yeah.
And it was just simply mentioning that my thumb was twitching.
Yeah.
And it went from there.
They have to be detectives.
Absolutely.
Physicians do. Yeah. And you have to be observant, and you were, and that's why you were able to get started on this course. You began the interview by saying, it's not a death sentence. And we hear that about certain diseases, and we hear it more and more often, which means that there is hope and there are people working on it. Pretty encouraging signs, in fact, in terms of Parkinson's.
Right. Actually, excuse me, I think, they are on the verge of, excuse me, research it's breakthrough research that is going to treat not only the symptoms but actually the cause. And like I said, right now the medications basically control the symptoms, but there is so much being done. There's a procedure called DBS, deep brain stimulation, and it's absolutely amazing. If you see somebody that has terrible tremors, it's an implant in the brain that's done locally in Pittsburgh. And it pretty much stops the tremors. It really gives people with Parkinson's in advanced stage a second chance at a much better quality of life.
Yeah. Okay, so a few moments ago you said, you mentioned the name of Western, say it again, Western PA?
Western Pennsylvania Parkinsons Association.
Okay, and their website is a good place to start.
Absolutely. You want to be careful you don't get on websites that have false promises, cures that aren't going to work. You want to get on a reputable website and get your information from there.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm so glad you came in to tell us about this.
Well, thank you. I just wanted to make people aware. You would be surprised how many people have been diagnosed or know somebody that's been diagnosed. There are great resources available in our county, and I just wanted to bring awareness to that.
In fact, you said a number off microphone about the number of people that are afflicted with Parkinson's disease, and a great percentage of them, they don't have any idea that they have it.
That's correct. Yeah. That's correct.
She is Denise Packer, and your story is pretty inspiring.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for bringing it to us. It is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS AM 1160 and 101.1 FM.